Ukhozi umaphiko olugula amaphiko kwaye kwaphephezela omiyane inyoni nobuciko nomnyunyiyo edweleni isivinini emafini icula ingoma emnandi yayahlukanisa unyaka omusha komdala inyoni enezigidigidi zabalandeli abayilandelayo zamemeza esezidololozela sathi siyayazi le nyoni yayiculela okhokho bethu abanye abathule isibongo soKhozi FM sisibhalelwe isidadada sothu Ukhozi FM luhamba phambili.
Ngingwamsele usibongo from Ukhozi FM kuyintokozo ukuthi sibe nani namhlanje kulolu hlelo oluhle kangaka esizoba nalo. Thank you so much for coming through. Sumsakazi Ukhozi FM sibambisene nabakwa e-SAMRO. Ngicabanga ukuthi makuthi besilalela emsakazweni benilokhu nizwa ukuthi bekune probe belokhu idlala kunesimemezelo esilokhu sikhona kushiwo ukuthi kunezingqungquthela ezikhona ezibanjwayo ezifundazweni ezehlukahlukene sibhale Eastern Cape saya eMpumalanga namhlanje sila kwandonga ziyaduma kwanyama kayipheli kuphela amazinga endoda kusanjani inyama ayipheli yayipheli inyama hlezi ikhona hlezi edliwa inyama so namhlanje silana ke eGoli namhlanje kwanyama kayipheli kuphela amazinga endoda engingakusho ukuthi uhlelo namhlanje noma lo hlelo lolu nje lonke uhlelo olubaluleke kakhulu nolulekelela kakhulu amaciko asekhona endimeni kanjalo nabasafika nasafisa ukungena nizokwazi ukuthi nithola ulwazi oluzosiza kakhulu ezintweni ezifana nokupublisha khona bakwaSAMRO abazoza ngaphambili bazokhuluma ezintweni ezifana nomthetho mangabe uhlanganisa umthetho nomculo ezintweni ezifana nanokuthi abo Spotify abo the Auditorium basebenza kanjani nokunye okuningi engizofunda namhlanje nenza isiqiniseko sokuthi mangabe sebefikile beza ngaphambili bakusho lokho abakushoyo ulisebenzisa ithuba lokuthi ubuze lokho ozofisa ukuthi usizakale kukona. And also namhlanje sizokwazi ukuthi simemezele lowo ozohlomula ngo-25,000 rand. Angithi nizwile ukuthi khona u-25k. Nizwile leyo ndaba? Yebo, u-25k ke lo bekade kumenyezelwe emsakazweni Ukhozi FM ukuthi njengoba sisenyangeni ka-October okuyinyanga emsakazweni Ukhozi FM esibiza ngokuthi SA Music Month. La sidlala khona ke umculo wasekhaya sine hashtag #zidlekhaya. Kuphinde futhi kube inyanga esibiza ngokuthi i-Transport Month. Kwathiwa ke mela isifundazwe sakho ngokuthi uqophe ingoma engeqile emzuzwini emithathu ezoqwashisa ngokuphepha emgaqweni noma ezokhuluma ngokuphepha emgaqweni. Eyiphi nje ingoma yazi ekhuluma ngokuphepha emgaqweni? Nalazi sosale khansela? Nayazi ingoma yakhe le ethi lethi ngiyasaba ukugibela itekisi ngiyacela ukugibela imoto. Do you know it? Khona ingoma yethwasa ngicabanga ukuthi ingenza isibonelo iyona ngoma efika emqondweni wami manje ekhuluma ngokuphepha ekhuluma ngomuntu ophuma ekhaya emsebenzini wangasafikela la futhi kuyakhona wabasengozini yemoto izinto ezikanjalo ukuqwashisa nje mawukuthi ke sesilalele sabona ukuthi cha le ngoma le iyawudlulisa lo myalezo esifuna ukuzwa kubantu uzobeke usuyawina leyo mali leyo bazoyichaza ukuthi usebenzisa kanjani engango 25,000 rand ezokulekelela ekutheni uthuthukise umsebenzi wakho bese uyakwazi ukuthi uyoqopha nokunye njalo njalo esokuchaza ke mangabe ke uhlelo luqhubeka okwamanje ngisacela ukunizwa ukuthi njengoba nimaciko nila can you sing mina ngiphuma kwaZulu nithi mangicula ngivumisa ingoma can you vuma le ngoma awusithi la 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 City izwe shaya wenze izwe shaya wenze izwe iyona
siyabonga zama sanibona nonke ni sanibona igama lami nguLwazi Ntabela. I am the marketing manager for Ukhozi FM, and I think this workshop or this kind of engagement that we're doing today has been a culmination of just relationship building with our industry partners, in e-SAMRO, and it just made sense for us that Uzam has already explained that October for us, inyanga esi celebrate khona umculo wasekhaya. 100% South African local music is what we play on air the whole month of October. So we thought, look, let's give back again through information sharing with our partner e-SAMRO, in terms of covering various topics from the legal stuff to the financial stuff to music submission as well. We do have our station music compiler with us, who will also then obviously give you some details and just go through the process of submitting music, for example, on Ukhozi FM or any radio station within the SABC stable, of course, because it's standardized across the board. So yeah, mine is just to say welcome and just to say thank you so much for attending today. I think you'll find the conversations very rich and very informative, and you definitely will leave with a lot to think about in terms of your various roles that you play within your value chain. So yeah, and really thank you to e-SAMRO for organizing really and just making sure that we are able to execute these workshops. We've been with these guys from East London. That's first week we're in East London. Last week we were in Mpumalanga, and this week we're in Gauteng, and we'll close it off in KZN next week. So if you guys are keen, come through to KZN as well and get some more information. But this is a relationship that we've begun we've had for many years. And I think, next year there's a lot of learnings that we got from this year that we'll take through to next year to make it bigger, much more, informative and much more inclusive as well in terms of the work that we're doing as partners. So thank you very much for attending, and I hope that you guys will learn a lot today. And if not, we'll be available, of course, as we're walking around and, what's the word? When we are talking together, I don't know, we'll see. I've just lost the word, yeah. And thank you so much.
Good day, everyone. Sure. So today we're just going to have a conversation, actually, right? The conversation is mainly about publishing. It's a revenue stream, so we'll start off with just introductions and try and give away as much knowledge as we can in the short time that we have, myself and Monia. So on my side, I am the General Manager of Licensing within e-SAMRO. The focus, obviously, for e-SAMRO is to make sure that we collect on what we call a performing right. So later on, you'll have one of our sort of colleagues in this panel speaking about the different rights, but e-SAMRO will obviously collect licenses from radio stations like Ukhozi, and as well as TV stations and even live events, and make sure that you get paid for that. I think what is important that I need to start off with is to say that if you are in this room and you are actually a creator of music, meaning you write lyrics or you compose, but you're not a member of e-SAMRO, that means you're leaving money on the table. So it means for you being in this industry, it is not about making money. Because if you're not a member of e-SAMRO, but you are writing music and you're also creating beats or either one, you must be a member of e-SAMRO.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Munya Chanetsa. I am the Managing Director at Empire Publishing. How many songwriters and producers do we have here today? Okay, it's good to see a couple of you here. Wonderful. So basically, I service songwriters and producers. A lot of people still get confused when they hear the word publisher. They think it's distribution. They think I'm a distributor. They think, because of the meaning of the word publish is to make available. But in the music sense, it's so important for you to know that we get information of artists who are looking for songwriters and producers. Sometimes we also get our songwriters and producers also to collaborate amongst ourselves to create what we call demos which then my job is to shop around to see if someone would be interested in buying the demo and using that song as their own. Because I'm sure you're all aware that not all songwriters, not all performing artists write and produce their music. They need songwriters and producers. My job is to look for opportunities, whether it is getting you into a studio with the performing artist who's looking for someone to write for them, to produce for them, whether it is a demo, perhaps in some instances, because, well, since COVID, virtual sessions also happen. We do virtual sessions, and the great thing about that, it's opened up the world. So I've had instances where I've had sessions with someone in Korea and someone here in Africa working together virtually to make music. So these are the host opportunities. So my job is to keep you busy, to keep you writing, to keep you producing for other songwriters and producers, as well as yourself, if you're an artist also. And then last but not least, and then I'll pass it on to Karabo. Last but not least, we do something called synchronization deals. It's also known as sync. So a synchronization deal, the definition is when you put music to moving pictures. It's as simple as that. So places where you see music and moving pictures, in an advert, there's moving pictures, there's film, and they add music. Adding the music is what we call a synchronization deal, because we've added moving pictures. It also happens in movies. A movie's playing, there's music in the background. We add music, that's what you call a synchron. We're syncing the two together. We look for computer games. I don't know if anyone plays FIFA and all these games. These days you're starting to see music in these games now. Our job is to find these opportunities to get your songs into these different opportunities, basically. There's also, it's film, there's TV shows as well. TV shows, Netflix. There's a lot of local Netflix productions happening these days. And though they need music and they want local music, my job is to see the opportunities and to find placements for your songs in these kind of spaces as well. So the fifth thing is synchronization. Are we together, guys? Yes. So I hope now everyone in the room here has a good understanding of what a publisher does in music, and not to be confused with anything else. Okay, super.
Good. So from a SAMRO side, SAMRO every single year for the last 3 years, right, has been improving its what we call revenue. Now, often when I speak these numbers, the question in your mind is, how do I benefit from that? And that's the right question you should ask yourself. Because I don't think anybody in this room is doing music just to be famous. Some of you are, unfortunately, right? You want to be famous, you don't want to make money, but we want you to make money. So, about 3 years ago, SAMRO was doing somewhere in the region for about 514 million rands in terms of revenue. That improved into about 580 million rands. So in the upcoming financial, the financials that we just closed off in June, the financial year for SAMRO is between July and June, we expect that we will then do just somewhere in the region of about 660 million rands. Now here's the thing, I'm talking about a lot of numbers here, right? 660 million rands. The real question is, how much of that are you benefiting from? Now, for you to benefit from what SAMRO collects, several things have to happen. Number one, yes, you have to be a member of SAMRO. Number two, the basics. You need to notify your works. So many creators who all create music, and it's not even just about your music. Like Munya said, you might have written music for somebody else. The song is playing on radio or TV or is being performed live, but you are not telling us about it. As I sit here, SAMRO has at any given time, sometimes we call it Undog, sometimes we call it the black box. At any given time, we have somewhere in the region of about 210 million rands, where we need to pay people, but we are not aware as to who these songs actually belong to. So what is important is become a member, notify. But then you can't just be paid royalties. There is this assumption, and this happens with all societies. You cannot just be paid. We pay for usage. So it means when Ukhozi later on speaks about how do you get your song playlisted, It's a very important conversation. Because that is what results in the royalty. You don't just become a member and submit your music and then no, it doesn't work like that. Your music must be in radio. Your music must be on TV. Your music must be on digital platforms, which my colleagues will speak about the digital platforms in a moment. Now, where is the majority of the money? When we look at a pie chart, the money sits mostly on TV and radio, so broadcast, 55% of it. So meaning, even if you were to focus on, let's say, just digital alone, just for selling royalties, you will only benefit from just about 12.5% of the revenue, which is a very small portion. So your strategy can't just be digital. You will need a strategy for linear, so meaning TV/radio, right? So whenever you build this thing, you will need that. We are going to have, Uyilethelwa coming along, and also Gift coming along, and they'll be touching on how obviously you can get your music out there. But I think the basics that we're trying to mention here is that usage is what you get paid for. So when we speak about Ukhozi or other SABC radio stations, please listen, because you getting your music there is what will allow us to pay you.
The split sheets are completed. Split sheet requires signatures, so it's agreement that everyone's on the same page, so that the flow of revenue. Otherwise, if there's disputes, the money doesn't flow anymore, and you end up losing.
Just before we move to questions, guys, just from what Munya has just mentioned, nobody knows what a hit is. I know we all think, nobody knows. You could be having a song, and that's the hit, and you take it lightly, and you don't do the paperwork. And I can assure you, I deal with these matters all the time. When that song is popular, now it's on the radio stations all over, that's when the fights come. We are all friends, but when money is before us, you'll be shocked what happens. So the best thing to do, protect your studio time as well. You see this thing where people sit with you in studio, we are all vibing or whatever is happening, and then all of a sudden I say, let's end this thing. Trust me, when it comes to the money, I say no, but I also submitted something there, so I must be included. And they're right. That melody, I changed it. No, but fair to add that yeah, that it's money. So you might sit there and say no, but it's just a That thing is money. So be very, very careful in studio to say, Only have people in the studio who are meant to be part of the song. So this thing of ours where we have unnecessary people there, it creates fights later on. And then even for those guys that are part of the song, agree, after the song is done, perfect, okay, what's fair? 20% for you, Mina 30%, we're not 20, as long as it's 100%. And then from there on, notify it right then and there. The easiest way for e-SAMRO for you to notify, go to your portal, and it's not complicated, trust me, you can do it on your phone. Go to your portal, get into that habit of, after you are done with the song, notify it on the portal, it's done. So once it starts playing wherever, someone will pick it up.
My question now in your explanation of a publisher, if I use your services, do I pay once off, or there's some money that you claim as you continue to market that song? And secondly, lastly, you talked about contributors to the music. If I wrote a song, I'm a lyricist, I wrote a song, I also created the song, but now I invite people to put this into practice, to literally sing. Some of them will be playing piano, most of them will be vocalists. Are they excluded as contributors? Because I want to understand that contributors are people who give beats and stuff like that, but those that actually are involved in making my demo, I invite you and say, I've written a song, please can we put it into practice? We exclude those people. Pianists, songwriters.
Masithole siyabonga kuKhozi naku-SAMRO ukuthi benzele indaba music indaba ngingusonkondlokazi uyazi ukuthi ngiblank nje ukuza la ngizothola ulwazi ngiregister under SAMRO ngicabanga ukuthi bekuwu-June or July so umculo ungabe uyanini okhozini after mhlambe noma ke ngithi kuma radio stations after sengiregistile ku-SAMRO noma mhlambe efane ngiye kwabanye khona no-Risa uRisa ungena kanjani ngihloba kanjani oCaprese ngihloba kanjani because mina I'm so confused ngihambile ngarekhoda e-studio ngithe sengiqedile ubhuti lo yawangi-charge imali uthe meseqedile wathi uyazi ukuthi ke I own 50%. I was so confused ngoba ngimbhadarile imali yakhe le ye-studio sakhe nokumfakela ama-instrument so kuza kanjani ke manje bese owner u-50% nje kuningi esafisa ukwazi ne-distributor udistributor mekunjani o-Spotify yebo lokho nje kuyabonga
uma ngithi Ukhozi FM wona uthi lihamba phambili Ukhozi FM Ukhozi FM and now let's move on to Sis Mpumi uNoluyanda from the Orchard ngizwile ukuthi usisikade bebuza indaba zama-digitals indaba zama-views indaba zabo-YouTube nani ngibonile ukuthi indaba yama-views nama-million indaba ine-million
kuthiwa mawuka-Spotify to Spotify for artists so i-app leyo ongayibheka nje kwi-app store uyi-download bese ucreate i-profile ukuze uzokwazi nawe ukuverifye ukuthi uwena le artist le esiyibonayo so njengo senzani sithatha i-link yale page lo create wena onama-login alo bese sithatha nale link ye-topic bese ke siya-submit ka-YouTube bese kuyamejwa kuhlanganisa kube i-page elilodwa lapho ama-numbers obunawo ngala ama-subscriber ayahlangana bese ke ama-numbers akhe ayakhula iyona into ekusizayo-ke leyo ukuthi usheshe ufike kwi-million ukuthi siwahlanganisa omabili lama-page so yizo zonke izinto nje tricks of the trade esiwasebenzisayo ukuthi kusize nawo ukhulu emva kwaloko-ke page yakho liba ne-music note and njalo uma ukhipha uzex mapiano topic vele usuhleli la kulela zex mapiano leli alicontrola yena azi ukuthi ngikwazi ukushintsha i-profile pic noma inini ngikwazi ukushintsha i-information yami noma inini ngikwazi uku-uploada i-lyric video i-music video yami so yonke into isihleli ndawonye
manje uzex mapiano masekathi ukhipha i-album yesibili sesizovula i-profile kanjalo njalo angisho
no yonke into isuke isingena nje kule official artist channel lesine-music note eduze kwazex mapiano.
Okay so guys into ebalulekile into esibonayo kakhulu ukuthi i-artist mayiqeda ukukhipha i-album yes2 seyihambe yovula i-profile ku-Spotify manje sonama-profile amaningi amanye awaverifyiwe so i-music yakho manje ifana nokuthi seyihlala endaweni ehlukile and into ehluphayo lapho ukuthi once you get to that point yokuthi manje sengifuna ama-sponsor sengifuna umuntu mhlawumbe ozofunda i-music video yami or manje because sengibona ngathi man sengikhulile manje ngidinga maybe i-independent distributor or ngidinga i-label manje ngidinga bo-Sony abo-Universal ukuthi manje bangilekelele because manje I've reached a certain point ukuthi angisakhona ukuzenzela ngidinga abanye abawazi more ukuthi bangenzele. Those people are going to come to you bazofuna ukwazi ukuthi okay wena as i-artist i-fan base yakho ime kanjani abantu abamamela i-music yakho bayingaki abantu abakulandelayo bayingaki so now ukhumbule ukuthi wena manje sonama-profile ayi-4 ku-Spotify enye ithi 5 monthly listeners enye ithi 10,000 monthly listeners enye ithi 100,000 monthly listeners enye ithi 200 monthly listeners mina mangiyi-brand ngihambe ngiyogugula mangahlangana nale yethi 5 monthly listeners kuyowenzekalani uyayibona angeke ngisasebenze nawo ngithi almost lo nomndeni wakhe umameli 5 minute monthly listeners. But now if ngoyenze yonke into ngeprofile eyi-1 beyizohlanganisa wonke lama number lawo ukuthi ibe information ephelele ukwazi ukuthi uzipitche wena, right? And enye into usizama ayishilo athi indaba imiliyoni, right? So everybody ufuna ukutholani million views. I-million views imnandi for ini ukuthi abantu bakwazi. For business, when we are now looking Tina as a distributor, the fact that you have million views, we take it as 20% of the work done. I see the Sibala as in this serious. Because to have 100 million views, Maramasi Bega, our subscribers work with YouTube. You can't even make 1,000 subscribers. Kushuti abantu bathanda ingoma bathandanga wena. Because our subscribers ilaba abalandela wena as an artist. Why haven't you been able to put your music on digital?
So I'm born piano, yes, music digital platforms because manje sengiyabona ukuthi futhi music wami sewuchekile kahle ukuthi ingoma beyicula manje ingoma thola ukuthi iyabheda yabo bele ngihlale phansi check ama-lyrics wami ngoba sometimes uzothi ubhala ingoma kanti kushoda igama eliyi-1 bese ingoma iyabheda boyicula ayihambi kahle. Ngiyabonga.
It's because of a lack of understanding. For 70s now my business. So now I'm more than ready, but the thing is I still lack understanding.
Okay, so look, I mean, in Israel, there's very different reasons why about to omunye akakabi ready, which is a very valid point. Ukuthi vele imusic yakho mawufila ngathi awukakabi ready ukuthi abanye abantu bayizwe. Rather perfect your craft. But sizobuyela kuleyo point yakho in a little bit in terms of how do you know when you are ready to take your music out. Okunye kuhambelana ne-trust into engiyibonile. And then okunye kuba ukuthi akunalwazi. So I think this is what we're going to be doing here a little bit. Isikhathi sethu simfishane kakhulu, so we're going to try to make sure we hit main topics, and then mara sizobe asekhona after to answer any further questions. I think we're done. Lou, can you give us our parting words?
Okay, so nje ukusho ukuthi ngicela njengoba kuphela lo nyaka ube ne-release plan for next year. So wazi ukuthi next year yini engizoyenza, ngizokhipha iy'ngoma ey'ngaki or ngizokhipha i-EP, ngizokhipha i-album, yini engizoyenza next year. Ukubhale phansi, uyinike ama-targets. Usho ukuthi okay, single yami mhlawumbe yokuqala engizoyikhipha ngoJanuwari. Once nganama-views amangaka, nganama-subscribers amangaka, nganama-followers amangaka, ngizokwenza i-lyric video. From there, once i-lyric video yami or i-visualizer yami yanama-views amangaka, zobe sengikhipha an official music video. So that now uzokwazi ukubona ukuthi i-progress uyayenza yini, uyakhula yini ngempela. Because manje uma ungayinikeli wena ama-targets, then obviously ngeke uzofika nazo lento oyenzayo nje uthela amanzi emhlabeni edala. So kubalulekile ukuthi uyinike ama-steps okukhula, because ingane mayizala imali izaba igijima. You know, so now as the artist is nigga now in depth, so it's okay. Next year we'll keep him on 4 every 3 months, but in between now I'm a challenge, now I'm a milestone in Mele Mashai, who's also born with the career Iakula and Bella.
Sorry. So listen closely. It doesn't get old. Let's downtown and Leo. Tabia. Yakumbura mgani wao. Beseka. Banga kabana gutama pupe. Tuwazofezeka. Hamuge manches peshe. That's how we go with the music. We going higher and higher.
till you sing it with me. Higher and higher. And you need it. Higher and higher. Happening, 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 happening. Right to the left below. Happening, 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 happening. Right to the left for us. Looks up to Mulla. Here's some less kunda. For us looks up to Mulla. Here's some less kunda. Thank you. Shaya, wenze, ngizwe. Shaya, wenze, ngizwe. Siyabonga kakhulu. I'm gonna bend down, oh my love. You're gonna bend down, oh my love. Basifika lethu. You know wasekhaya la ikhulele khona kwanyusa Potchefstroom. Ethi masifika lapho sithi sele fumenzima. I know ukuthi abanye bebeyisho ngendlela ehlukahlukene abanye bathi ngolungcelizuka bethina sekhaya so something
Sele suke mbakwa maninza mapanzule bai
yabona futhi ukuthi hayi siyenza ngendlela yethu maninza mapanzule ebeka sele suke emzini wami kodwa nje ihit wonke umuntu ayithanda
ukuthi umculo ufika kanjani emsakazweni. Angisho ukuthi konke lokho esihlanganisile namhlanje la kuyamjabulisa ngoba kuyizinto eziningi ezenzekalayo ngaphambi kokuthi umculo ufike thina sewe final product. Ngoba thina kufika thina sekuphindile sekwenze konke lokho nadlula amameli nawo mase kulethwa thina sekufanele sikudlale emoyeni thina. Mase sikudlalele emoyeni bese kuthola umculo udumile bese kukhona izingxabano izinto okufanele ukuyilungisela before thina usilethele. Kodwa ke angangukutshele ke thina sikwenzayo lapha emsakazweni. Ngoba manje isikhathi sesahambe kanjena umculo sesiwureceive ke electronica kusho ukuthi usuthumela i-email yazi kudala konke bekhona ama-music libraries ahlukahlukene endaweni ezahlukahlukene ngama-provinces njengoba sama-radio station amaningi abanye babeya lapha e-Auckland Park bethi ngicela ungifakele ungisele ku-Ukhozi FM abanye kwelibhalabhala njalo njalo but manje lo usukwenza at the company at the comfort of indawo yakho ehlelweni ekhaya ngokuthi usi-email sine-email address esisebenzisayo. Lo email address kufanele uyazi noma ungayibhala phansi noma besekhanda lakho lula kakhulu. It's music@ukhozifm.co.za. Yilapho la uthumela khona ingoma yakho. Nakwezinye iy'teshi ofisa ukuthumela kuzona ungathi Metro FM music@ukhozifm.co.za, music@metrofm.co.za.
If usebenza in the work environment, there is imithetho governing that called labor law. So entertainment law works in that manner. Imithetho that governs the entertainment industry. We're dealing with different types of law, copyright, and it's mainly copyright and contract law. So it's those laws in the context of the industry yethu. So basically, e-copyright protects works of authorship. But there are different works of authorship. I'm a movie, but obviously in our context, we are dealing with music. So when you have a copyright, it's a set of rights that allows you to do certain things with that work. Be it distribution, be it reproduction of the work, be it publicly performing that work. Mounting copyright, you're the only one that can do those things. That's why it's important. And to preach something that I always preach to Abatoli, that it's very important that you understand the true copyrights in a song. If you don't understand the true copyrights in a song, you won't know how to chase the money. You won't understand any contract in respect of this industry. In fact, if you live here and you don't understand the true copyrights, I would suggest that you either go read up further on it or just quit, because it's the industry if you don't understand those two copyrights, and I'll explain. So there's the copyright in the composition, right? The composition is the lyrics, melody, and structure of the song. And the rights holders it's people who write. You're going to be the producers, be it the people who are writing the lyrics and so forth. And then there is the copyright in the sound recording, also known as e-master. So e-master is basically the recording that carries the composition. Keep your phone and I record him. That original recording is the master recording. And I, as the person who paid for that recording to record him, and now I'm owning that sound recording, that master, I have the rights to do what I like with that recording, meaning distributing it, putting it on DSPs and so forth.
Partnership with SAMRO, and the reason why FNB is here is that it falls squarely within our CSI mandate to empower our members to make sure that they have sustainable careers going forward. And ultimately, this partnership, we're hoping that it will have a long-term impact in terms of the programs that we offer at SAMRO in terms of music business skills, but also in terms of other programs like our Music Creation Support Fund, where we give our film associate members a micro grant for them to produce some new music or to complete a project that they have underway. But I think before we get into those complexities, Zila, do you want to talk about some of the products that FNB has that are geared towards creatives?
As Lucy, I'm from FNB. So now we're actually looking after the finance or financial aspect of things. Because what we've seen in the past, we've seen a lot of artists, they do everything off one single account. Kuzweli, I'm an artist. My labor performances one goes into this particular account. I need to pay my dancers one from this particular account. I need to pay our driver and whoever that needs my business to survive from this single account. But there's actually a difference between the two. As an artist or as a creative, there's a part where you should separate this is me as a person and this is what I'm actually generating from my business, right? I'm sure you guys have also seen a couple of artists that have struggled with tax issues in the past before, no? And others, if you've been in the game for quite some time, I'm sure we're going to fighting before or that of the experience when it comes to our payments. Eh? So as a creative, my advice to you would be separate the two. Open up a business account for your business. From there, pay everyone from that particular account. That includes yourself. Don't say upon the business account and say, this is my money, I can do whatever I see fit with it, because it's still not your money, it's still money for the business. And we know there is different tax brackets that people go through. The more they earn, the more SARS wants to tax you on it. And good business, there's also different tax thresholds. But I think the highest that you're looking at paying if you're making between 1 and 20 M, it's around 28%. But if it's below 1 million, you won't pay anything. But on your personal capacity, you will definitely be needing to pay tax for that. So, from our side, we bank e-SAMRO as a company, and based on that, we've educated our employees on financial literacy, of which is a program that we can take you guys through, but it's actually been curated for employees. But as I mentioned, because you need to separate the two, we can train you as an individual to say how can you manage your finances as an individual, and for a business, we also do have financial advisors that we can assist you with, or link up in now so that they can assist you to manage your emails as a business owner and manage your finances as a person. So hopefully after this, you guys will see the need to separate, which okay, this is what's happening in my business and this is what's happening in my personal capacity. Yes, you'll have different phases in your career or throughout the year, because as an artist, you also go through the seasonality. So the money that you're getting throughout, it's not the same, right? So you also need to budget or account for that. So that's how we come through as a financial institution to say, how do we assist you to live within your means? What is it that are your needs? What is it that you want? And then you can prioritize from there. Because as we wouldn't depend more on debt, we want you to actually build sustainable careers, you build a wealthier
See, ngesiZulu awubizi igama lokuntala nalikhona, so allow me to say ngakhethu babusi. I'm an artist manager. That's my space, the business side of music, but I'm also the founder of the Music Business Academy, which is an institution that owns the music business network that we are running in partnership with FNB, e-SAMRO, and the Festival Foundation. It's a platform that is for education. Umuntu okubalwa lana oseke attend the music business network. It's quite a few. So we are for education, and for ukuthi ikuphi kumele sikwenze ngendlela engcono ukuze mhlawumbe sizofika kule level osuhlale wafika kuyona and still releasing music and still earning from your music. So that's the core business that we do. So if everything else are hosting so we introduce and then we get go.
Sabona, Jamilam, Absheni, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. General Ukifte Seshilo, Ikamalami, Usipo, Kodwa emculweni ngaziwa ngokuthi hot sticks. Yazabanye bazofuna ukwazi ukuthi wayengabe ngi-hot sticks. Kodwa sengashintsha ke la-hot sticks ku-hot sex. Not sex of yabona-ke nangakuzama sekuqalile abangokunye. Angithi semastopa ukuthi drama, so I don't use sticks anymore. I became a saxophonist. But those with warped minds will immediately think, he's talking about hot sex. No. It's, I'm a saxophonist, Zama, and people call me, those who call me hot sticks, others call me hot sex. So, mina no gifti esizokhuluma into ezenza ukuthi le industry ukuthi isebenze. Zex. Uyabona wena ufika ngesikhathi samapiano ngithi. And one of the first thing I decided ukuthi uzoba uzex mapiano because amapiano is popular currently. It's the current thing. What happens 5 years from now when my piano doesn't happen? What are you going to call yourself?
Zex drums.
So when you become a musician, the level of commitment is very critical. Very, 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 very critical. You do with what we call self-investment. Ama-artist amaningi siyathanda uku-complain. We don't get booked by promoters. We don't get played at radio stations. There are all these other little things. Tina, when we started, we invested in ourselves. Before anyone can have an interest in you, show your commitment. Bonisa ukuzimisela kwakho kule nto yenza. You'll have a manager today, he won't be there. You'll have a record company today, they won't be there. How much investment are you making in yourself? Are you willing ukuthi wena mabakunikeze imali kini ukuthi ukhere uye esikolweni usoyobhuka ihholo notshomi bakho nibeka ama-posters ngaphandle nilayisha ama-instrument niyeshowini kungena abantu bayi-2 niqhubeke kuleyo nto. That's the commitment.
On that note, Babu Simple, Karupuza something. From what you see today to what the industry is and what it was when you were starting up or when you were still maybe halfway through what you are now, do you see anything different? Is it moving towards the right direction for artists, or it's moving towards the right direction to music administrators, meaning ourselves, record labels, distributors, publishers, and all that? Is the industry benefiting the administrators more than the creatives?
I think what's important, Gift, we should always try and avoid instant gratification.
Yes.
Instant gratification is the danger. Yes. Because the unfortunate part now, Uguti, there's television. Television. We depended on radio stations. We depended on shebeens, you know. So, our artists namhlanje, they have all the advantage over social media, television, and so on.
Without further ado, drum roll there. Okay, so ubani wazithakazo zakaDlamini la? Uyasazi? Umadlamini. Oh, so the person who we have nominated, guys, please note that everybody who was a panelist today was in that room today to sit together and decide on the song, and we all were in agreement. We had quite a few entries, but from the few entries, we took 10, we took 5, we took 2, then we found the one that then we voted on one. So the person with the song, Elithi Asipepe, Siboniso Dlamini. Yeah, by two I'm going to balance of Bobabin, but I can't really oh, no Nyago Mushakambat, so Jigas, Sabo Mafetu, Nina and Pumelele, Sabo Makulu, Uti, no 7 venue, the effort in Fagan over the sleeves with Peru like is strong about folio. So, Balega code. Sense of Malaga no put this a hook, but so Tatama details, they know. So, 12 minutes, then minutes or transfer of bonus so that you can allow the service. Family seat, Jomo. I need to to online.
Sema mama ika witu ikama musiponiso mwagati amini ya kumusha siyasa tangana we got our own project is for pushayo nje kodwa sihlangane ndawonye sathi ake siyipushe le campaign le ke sikwashise umphakathi ake sidudule nje hasipepe emkwakweli hasipepe emkwakweli sihloniphe indlela yonke hasipepe emkwakweli sihloniphe indlela yonke ukhulumile ungongo sheyena ukhulumile ungongo sheyena asipepe 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 asipepe. Thank you.